Hello again, fans and friends, and welcome to another episode of PD's 4R. My name is PDW2KX, and today I want to talk about the first season of the HBO series True Detective. Originally released in January 2014 and widely regarded as an instant classic and a modern day masterpiece, the first season of True Detective features iconic Hollywood stars Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson as homicide detectives investigating a bizarre, ritualistic killing. What starts as a mysterious, macabre murder spirals, pun intended, into an epic story of secret cults, government corruption, and two very flawed men doing their best to stop a string of killings that have gone unnoticed and unsolved for decades. I mentioned in a recent review I probably won't give another show a 10 out of 10 until I review the first season of True Detective. A funny thing is, saying that made me realize how long it's been since I rewatched True Detective. I always planned to review this show eventually, but simply thinking back on how good it was made me want to watch it again. So, the time is now. Full stop. Pausing right here at the intro. This is one of the greatest television shows of all time, of any genre ever. The first season of True Detective is a flawless masterpiece. I'm a small channel, and I know how much I'm shooting myself in the foot if I tell you to click away from the video. But I'm not doing this for the fame. I'm doing this because this is what I love to do. And True Detective is everything I love about television. So, if you don't want to watch me talk about how amazing this show is and how much I love it for an entire long form video, I do understand.
You've been warned.
It is what it is.
So, here is your warning. I don't have a single bad thing to say about this show. The first season of The Walking Dead is perfect. The first season of True Detective is perfect. Let's get into why I love this show so much. Let's start with the performances of the two main actors. This is the role that led to The McConaissance, where Matthew McConaughey transitioned from the gorgeous hunk in all the rom-coms to a serious, Oscar-worthy actor that shines in dramatic roles. To this day, I still think this is the best performance of this man's stellar career. This is Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. This is Bryan Cranston in Breaking Bad. This is a transformative performance. No one ever looked at Matthew McConaughey the same after he played Rust Cohle.
Nothing, I mean nothing, will ever be the same again.
Well, I didn't think he had it in him.
So let's talk about Rust. Rust Cohle is one of the best characters that's ever been portrayed on television. This one character, all by himself, has at least two of the greatest monologues in television history. The "Time is a Flat Circle" monologue and the "I Shouldn't Be Here" monologue. You can make a strong argument that several of his other monologues also qualify as some of the greatest of all time. Rust Cohle is quite simply the perfect anti-hero. Deeply flawed, constantly struggling, willing to cut corners and break the rules to do what needs to be done. And yet, despite all his troubles and all his flaws and all his inner conflict, despite being a man constantly and seemingly forever at war with himself and his own mind, there is a fire inside of Rust Cohle that refuses to let injustice go unpunished. It's been said that there's a very fine line between genius and madness, and wherever that line is, I imagine that Rust Cohle is dancing on that line to this very day.
See everything outside our dimension. That's eternity. Eternity looking down on us. Now, to us, this is fear. But to them, it's a circle.
I don't know what that means, you sick, sexy bastard, but it's flipping my switches.
Marty Hart is also most likely the best performance of Woody Harrelson's career. Just like Rust, the show pulls no punches in its characterization of Marty. Marty eventually becomes the person he's destined to be, as does Rust, but it takes both him and Rust quite a long time to get there. Like Rust, for every positive aspect you can name about his character, you can probably name 2 negatives. But that's the point. No heroes are ever truly perfect, not the ones worth remembering. Marty is definitely one hell of a cop, but he's also a serial liar and a cheater, and for a majority of True Detective, he refuses to admit that he is usually the cause of all of his problems.
Right now, I'm my own worst enemy.
Look in the mirror. But the incredible cast of True Detective is not the only reason this show reaches modern-day classic status. It's the strength of the writing where True Detective truly shines. Let's talk about that for a moment. True Detective is one of the most philosophically dense shows I've ever watched, and yet it somehow never feels boring or stagnant. This isn't just because you have 2 amazing lead actors and both of them put on the best performances of their careers. It's also because of the quality of the writing. Like so many other aspects of this incredible piece of fiction, the writing in True Detective is truly flawless. The best way I can describe why this writing means so much to me, and why I enjoyed it so very much, would be to indulge myself a little bit and talk about myself and my own writing for a moment. So, here it is. There are 2 goals I have anytime I write a piece of fiction. These 2 goals are my mantra, my calling card. They define every work I've ever done and echo throughout every word I've ever written. My first goal is to inspire people to keep hope alive no matter the cost and no matter how bad the situation may look. My second goal is to take complex ideas and themes and turn them into something everyone can understand and learn from and grow from. True Detective accomplishes both of those goals perfectly. All these high ideas of philosophy and existentialism, the nature of right versus wrong, the ultimate goal and fate of humanity, all of these topics are things that True Detective explores without ever feeling like you're being preached at or lectured to. True Detective has some of the best writing of anything I have ever read across all forms of artistic expression. It's as simple as that.
The magnum opus. That's what it's all about.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
I want to focus next on some of the most unforgettable dialogue, 2 scenes in particular. This first one, this is one of the very, very few times I have ever felt myself truly horrified by what an actor is saying.
I can see your soul at the edges of your eyes. It's corrosive, like acid. You got a demon, little man. And I don't like your face, It makes me want to do things to it. Ginger, you call me again, I'm setting miles on you. I see you again, and I'm putting you down. There's a shadow on you, son.
Say that again. I couldn't hear you over the sound of me shitting myself.
That is terrifying. That dialogue scares me more than any jump scare, any crazed axe-wielding serial killer, any werewolf or zombie or vampire or ghost that crawls out of a television screen. I can see your soul through your eyes is quite frankly otherworldly. It is haunting. This person has seen things. This person has done things. Terrible things. For those unaware, the whole storyline of the Yellow King, Carcosa, etc., all of that is based on Lovecraftian horror. And the main thing you need to know about Lovecraftian horror is that it prides itself on existential dread. The best Lovecraft stories, the fear stays with you long after you turn the page and close the book for the night. It's the fear that something is out there that is so alien, so unknown, so against the natural order of things that even catching a small glimpse of it is enough to send you into the deepest depths of madness. That's the fear I feel when I watch that scene. Incredible. Unforgettable. And of course, I have to include this next scene if I'm talking about how amazing the dialogue is.
You're looking at her on the sky thing. How's that? Well, once there was only dark. Let me ask, any lights winning?
This is honestly one of my favorite lines of any television show ever. True Detective is littered with references to other literary works, and these final lines of the show are actually a reference to an Alan Moore story in the short-lived comic called Top 10. I know this is going to make me sound like a gatekeeper, but I honestly feel you can't really consider yourself a fan of Alan Moore until you dive into his more lesser-known works like Top 10. We can talk about Watchmen all day. We've got plenty to talk about. But if you know Top 10, if you've read Supreme or Promethea, now I know you're a real fan. Several of Alan Moore's best stories have been buried under murky publishing rights and forgotten simply due to the passage of time and the constant churn that is the comic book industry. But this line is everything I ever wanted. This line is everything I stand for. This line is me. I believe this. I feel this in my soul. I believe that the dark has so much more territory. But I also believe that once there was only dark. And so, yes, I do indeed believe that the light is winning.
This is how I feel.
Never give up.
I'm not ready to definitively declare that True Detective Season 1 is the greatest season of any television show of all time. It's certainly in the discussion, but I can't say that in good conscience until I review stuff like The Wire, The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, and other contenders for the coveted spot of greatest to ever do it. But I can and I will say this. I have never felt closer to a show than I have to the first season of True Detective. This is everything I love about television. This is a flawless masterpiece from beginning to end. This is a seminal work, an important work, a milestone that all other shows can and should be measured against. True Detective Season 1 is everything I wish I could create. It is one of the greatest television shows of all time, from top to bottom, from beginning to end, in every aspect and in every single way I judge a show critically. True Detective Season 1 is, quite simply, perfect. And so I award it a perfect 10 out of 10. And that's the video, fans and friends. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe if you feel like liking and subscribing. This has been PDs4R, and I have been PDW2KX. See you in the next one, and I hope you take care.